Disneyland, Southern California's $17 million playground dedicated to children, both young and old, opened its gates to the public today. These pictures were taken yesterday by Channel 8 cameraman Mel Forbes during a special preview showing of the Wonderland to invited guests.
Today, we're going to talk about the life of a person whose name is synonymous with imagination and creativity. A man who created the modern world of cartoons and made them recognized in the real world. The man who created one of the most successful and beloved entertainment empires in the world, Walt Disney. But what most people don't know is that Walt Disney's journey to success was not an easy one. In fact, it was its hard work, determination, and the resilience he developed during his homeless teenage years that made him into the visionary entrepreneur that we know today. When in an interview he was asked about which was his first animated character and when did he start making cartoons, he replied,
I was making cartoons long before that. In fact, I think I've been in this business about as long as anybody living today. I started actually in the to make my first animated cartoons 1920.
Before we delve into the fascinating life of the teenage boy who went from homeless to building a $188 billion empire, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Luxury Living, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with more informative and interesting videos. Walt Disney was born in 1901 in Chicago, Illinois. He showed a keen interest in drawing from a very young age, and by the time he was in high school, he was already selling his drawings to his friends and family. However, his dream of becoming an artist was put on hold when he dropped out of high school at the age of 16 to join the Red Cross as an ambulance driver during World War I. After the war, Walt returned to the United States and began working as an advertising artist in Kansas City. It was during this time that he created his first successful cartoon character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. However, Walt's success was short-lived as he lost the rights to Oswald to his distributor. This was a major setback for Walt, and he decided to start over by creating a new character. With his last $40, Walt set out to create a new character that he could call his own. It was during this time that he created Mickey Mouse, who would go on to become one of the most beloved characters of all time. During an interview, he said,
Well, I came to Hollywood and arrived here in August 1923 with $40 in my pocket and a coat and a pair of trousers that didn't match. And one half of my suitcase had my shirts and underwear and things. The other half had my drawing materials.
But even with the success of Mickey Mouse, Walt faced numerous challenges in bringing his vision to life. He faced numerous rejections before he finally found someone who believed in his vision, and he invested everything he had to make his dream a reality. He then went on to become one of the biggest entities in Hollywood. It's commonly known that Walt Disney was extremely successful and earned a significant amount of money throughout his career. However, many people are curious about how he chose to spend his wealth, what assets he invested in, and how he managed to build such a prosperous company. These are all questions that people may have when considering the legacy of Walt Disney. Well, here are the answers. Walt Disney had a diverse range of interests and was known to spend his wealth on many different things throughout his life. Some of his most notable expenses included growing his animation studio, creating and developing the Disneyland and Disney World theme parks, promoting and producing films and TV shows, and investing in real estate. In addition to these ventures, he also had a strong commitment to charitable causes and donated generously. Alongside his work, he also had many personal interests, such as collecting art and trains. Ultimately, Walt Disney used his wealth to support his passions and to contribute positively to the world around him. Walt Disney always believed in the idea of reinvesting the capital in his own business to make it more viable and sustainable. He got his first ever studio built by Nell Peter in May of 1922. He named it Laugh-O-Gram Films. Initially, it continued its operation on second floor of the new building and had only 11 people employed there. He understood that he could either afford his home or studio while making his animations, so he gave up his home and started to live in his office. But eventually he had to leave the studio, and in 1926, he built up a new and rather expansive studio named as Walt Disney Studio. The total worth of this site is still not known till now. The cost of running the studio at that time would have included rent for the space, salaries for the small number of employees, and the costs of producing the animated shorts that the studio was creating. While there is no definitive record of exactly how much the studio cost in 1926, it is known that the studio's first animated short, Little Red Riding Hood, was made for a budget of $1,500. Given that the studio was still small and relatively new at the time, it's likely that the cost of running the studio would have been relatively modest in comparison to the studio's later expenses as it grew and expanded. This company then became Walt Disney Production in 1926 and remained the same till 1985 when it was succeeded by another name. If one wants to know how much was the company worth, so it can be calculated by its stock price, which was somewhere between $1.02 to $1.06 per share, whereas the quantity of shares at that time is not known. In the simple words, we could say it was hell lot of money. Once Walt Disney had established his animation career, he came up with the idea of creating an entertaining amusement park featuring his famous characters. This led to the development of Disneyland in California, which was finished in 1955. The overall expenses of building Disneyland amounted to approximately $17.5 million. The park was divided into various sections, including Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, and Main Street USA, which served as the only entry and exit point of the park. The opening ceremony of Disneyland was overseen by Ronald Reagan himself. Before we move to last and most interesting part of our video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Luxury Living. From luxurious lifestyles to expensive mansions, we have got it all. Walt Disney's impact on the world was not limited to his lifetime, as his legacy has continued to grow and evolve in the years since his passing. Despite being a billionaire, Walt Disney lived a relatively humble lifestyle and was known for his philanthropic endeavors, including enrolling in the Red Cross ambulance service during World War I and supporting numerous charitable causes throughout his life. Even today, more than half a century after his death, his business and brand continue to thrive and expand, with new generations of fans discovering the magic and creativity that he brought to the world. Walt Disney's life and work serve as a testament to the enduring power of imagination, innovation, and compassion, and his legacy will continue to inspire and entertain for generations to come. Now it's your turn to share your thoughts. What is your favorite Walt Disney animated movie or character? Have you ever visited Disneyland or any other Disney park? Share your experiences and memories in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel Luxury Living for more inspiring stories and content. Thank you for watching.